retrospectives in a moment, but we're also here for poems. So with that, I would like to bring up one of our poets from this issue, Saúl Hernández. He's a queer writer from San Antonio and was raised by undocumented parents and as a Jehovah's Witness. Sounds very fruitful for ideas. Saúl has an MFA in creative writing from the University of Texas at El Paso. He's the former director for Barrio Writers at Borderlands and was a semifinalist for the 2018 Francine Reingold Award for New Writers through Nimrod Literary Journal. His work has appeared in the Normal School and Rio Grande Review. I'm so glad we could have his work in this issue. Welcome, Saúl.
Didn't have time to print. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you for Borderlands for making me a part of this issue, and as well for Malvern for letting us your space and just hosting us. So let's go ahead and get started. Listening for submergence. The force of running water from inside my apartment walls rumbles. I press my hand against the wall, feel the rush. Across town, my sister wakes up to her heels breaking water on the hardwood floor. A leaking pipe bursts in the middle of the night. She shrieks. And father has another dream of his brother's body plunging against the waves of the Rio Grande. His brother's name overflows father's body. He shakes. I ask him, how does it feel to drown? Answer, it feels like every regret stuck in your throat. Outside, it has been raining for a month. Rainwater accumulates at the bottom of my apartment stairs. I watch the deep stream, wonder if Jesus knew his feet wouldn't sink when he walked on the surface of the ocean. At home, my mother drinks another glass of water whenever she sees me to wash down my gayness. At night, I fill the bathtub with my body and water pours out. Mother gulps down another glass of water. My sister's apartment keeps leaking. Father keeps dreaming. When will this rain end? I ask my sister. She says, when my floor stops rising. And mother's running out of glasses to drink from, and father has another dream of his brother's body in the river. This time, father jumps in and swims towards him. He pulls him out, and his brother's body ascends towards the sky. Father's face in awe. This time, the water swallows him. At home, I become obsessed with water. I Google, how many gallons of water can I drink until I drown? Notes on dividing fractions. After school, he tells me, I get it. Numbers and stuff like that scare you. I put my head down, use my nails to chip away at the grade marked in red. He pats my back and says, let's look at division, and then we'll move into fractions. I'll need you to look up, though. He has no idea I am a child of parents who have been divided many times in this country. Their memory is an unsolved puzzle. He has no idea a fraction to me means leaving traces of my culture behind, or how embarrassing it is to say my parents are from Mexico, as in my parents are undocumented, as in to say they came here to give me a country. How do I tell him dividing for me means watching my parents multiply dollar bills to purchase calling cards from the corner store? Every time they call, the division problem grows. There is no reciprocal for the border. I'm going to do a bit of a longer one. 13 reasons why my Mexican father fears water. 1. Father's body floats on weekend mornings. Father's belly rises with each breath. One hand extends next to his face. The other hangs on the side of the bed. 2. Father dreams of drowning, his body immersed in dark waters, his hands reaching for dryness. At dawn, he floods his room with his brother's name. His voice breaks in mid-sleep. I can hear his body fighting for air. 3. Father works his 5th night shift this week. He reaches back to the floor wax machine, leans his chest on the handles, and flips the on switch. He watches a sponge rotate. as streams flow out. 4. Father chugs beer, throws it back like water. I ask him if he wants another. He nods. He cracks it open, brings it to his lips, and downs the liquid. He crushes the can with one hand and belches out all the air inside him. 5. Father's arms push against the current of the Rio Grande. Legs tread water. He searches the surface for his brother's body. Father listens to the shift of the waves. They tell him what his next move should be, but water crashes into his face. A current takes him under too. 6. He scratches his head, looks away from my eyes. I know he doesn't want to see me fight against water when I ask him to go to my swim meet. It's okay, I tell him. You don't have to come. He smiles and says, I'm tired today, but I'll go next time. 7. He takes us to the beach and watches our bodies break tides. The waves crash into us, and the ocean hands drag my brother into its mouth. Father's eyes follow my brother from the shore. He bites his lips, sinks his feet deeper into the sand, shouts, Carlos! 8. A geyser of hot water shoots from the car radiator, and Father burns his hand. He curses into the air, Pinche agua hija de su puta madre. 9. At a drive-through car wash, water leaks in through the window. Father takes a napkin from the dashboard, but water softens it apart. He looks around the car, but nothing can prevent the water from coming in. As the sponge roller presses on the windshield, he closes his eyes and sighs. 10. Water falls from the sky. He drives us through a storm. I hold on to the armrests. Rain beats on the windshield. The wipers whoosh water out of the way faster. Father smirks and lowers my window. I flinch at the touch of the cold wetness, and he says, it's just water. 11. Every March 31st, my father takes white roses to the San Antonio River. He drops all 14, the age of his brother Carlos, who drowned at the Rio Grande. He watches each flower bob up and down as the calm current takes them south. Their bodies don't drown. 12. We watch my mother water the plants outside. The summer breeze carries the smell of wet dirt. Father stares out into the distance. Mother wets him with the hose, and his eyes widen. His breathing locks, but he laughs it off. 13. After Father's heart attack, the doctor sends him to do water therapy. Father refuses. Water doesn't heal everything. I convince him to go by joining him. In the pool, his body struggles to move. I tell him to walk towards me. He says he can't. I swim to him. I ask him if he trusts me. He nods his head, and I lean his body slowly onto the water. As he lets go of his body, his feet rise up to the surface. And the last poem I'll be reading is the one that was featured in this issue. It is called Airball. In Juarez, a boy clenches his hands against the gate. He watches a show, a group of boys playing basketball on the other side at Bowie High School. His eyes watch the ball as it dribbles and passed around. His eyes continue to watch for an opening. The boy's hands grip the fence tighter as the boy falls on the opposite side, misses the shot. The boys laugh at him as he gets up from the floor. They all shake hands and leave the court. The boy across the fence in Juarez keeps watching the probabilities of how the game could have ended. A three-pointer, a two-pointer, or an access shot to outweigh the odds. Thank you.